So is one of my stories earlier had to do with the summer study abroad in Rome, and I have other stories about Rome. So I wanted to show you it wasn't all flying breasts. So they say what in Rome do as the Romans do. And so it probably would have been a good idea for me to learn some Italian before I went to go study abroad in Rome, but I didn't. And over the course of my time there, I picked some up along the way. There were some times when it wasn't so good that I didn't speak Italian, and plenty of times when it didn't matter too much. But, for example, a lot of people think that Italians go around saying, "Oh, scusi, scusi," and I mean that's an Italian word, and it does mean excuse me, but it's excuse me like if you bump into somebody and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me." It doesn't mean excuse me, I need to get by. If you need to get by somebody, you have to say permesso, which to me almost sounds like it would be rude. It's like, let me by, but that's really what you have to say. And so if you're on a crowded bus and the bus stops at your stop and there are all these sweaty Italian bodies between you and the door, you better say permesso or you're not getting off the bus. Early on during my trip in Rome, one of my roommates and I decided to go on a little adventure by ourselves, and all of our friends there knew two things about us. They knew that neither one of us spoke any Italian, and they knew that both of us were prone to getting lost. And so they said, what are you going to do if you get lost? And my roommate said, well, we'll just go up to a police officer and we'll say, Ercoli, because Ercoli was the name of our hotel. So this was her plan. We went down to the train station. We took the train to the beach at Ostia. We came back. When we got back to the train station in Rome, we made a wrong turn out of the train station, and we got lost. I had a map that I had picked up at the hotel. So I opened up the map, and I was looking at the roads around us, and I realized that we had walked off the edge of the map. This map was just the area around the hotel. And then we spotted a police officer. So my roommate walked up to him, and she said, Ercoli? And the police officer gave her a blank look because the Ercoli Hotel takes up one floor of a 6-story building. And our trip from UGA was, we were in all of the rooms, 2 and 3 to a room. It was a very small hotel. The police officer had never heard of it. But then I handed him the map, and he was able to point at the map and gesture at the roads around us, and eventually, we figured out how to get back to our hotel. Now, I was in one of those 3-person rooms. My other roommate was a lot smarter, and she had learned some Italian, and I was particularly impressed with her Italian because she haggled with a street vendor in Italian. The street vendor was selling sunglasses, and she decided she wanted a pair of his sunglasses. So first she asked him, it says this in the guidebook, always very important, before you purchase something, you have to ask, quanto costa? How much does this cost? And he told her in Italian, something like 20 euros. And she just started walking away, and she goes, caro, caro. It's too expensive. So then the street vendor goes, ah! And, he offered her, maybe like 15 euros. And she goes, caro, caro. And so she got him down to 10 euros, and then she purchased the street vendor sunglasses and walked away looking fabulous. I did learn the Italian for ordering gelato. Because we had gelato almost every night. My friends and I would walk down to the local gelato shop, and we'd say, uno piccolo gelato per favore. One small gelato, please. And the gelato people liked us because we ate so much gelato, so we could have gotten away with just pointing. But, it was polite to attempt the Italian. I didn't know the names of all the flavors of gelato. Some of them I could figure out the name because the Italian was close enough to either some Latin or some English that I knew. Or sometimes you could look at it and you could kind of tell what it was. But once in a while I would order a flavor, really, really having no idea what it was going to be. And I'm glad that I did that because that's how I discovered my most favorite flavor of gelato, which is called tartufo. And tartufo is the Italian word for truffle. And just like in English, truffle could be like those little mushroom thingies, or it could be like delicious chocolates. And fortunately for me, the truffle gelato is like the chocolates, not like mushrooms. and it's very good. So our professors, they spoke Italian, and they used their Italian to help us on our excursions as we, for our classes. But they would not help us, just in our spare time. If we didn't know enough Italian to do stuff we just wanted to do, that was too bad. So like on a class trip one day when we went to the Coliseum, this Italian tour guide tried to cut her entire group in front of us at the turnstiles, and our professor got into a very loud and animated argument with her in Italian while he gestured for us to go ahead through the turnstiles and in front of the Italian group. So, they use their Italian to help with the classes. But then another day we were trying to cross the street near our hotel, and I have to tell you a couple of things about our group. We had a group of 24 students from mostly from UGA, and 20 of us were female. 20 out of 24 females. And also when we crossed the street, we were such a large group that we would pretty much never make it across the street before the light changed. And so our professors told us to cross in Tortuga formation. So that would be like, the Roman legions when they would all get behind their shields and huddle together, and they'd be protected like under a turtle shell. So we'd huddle together as we crossed the road in Tortuga formation. And so we crossed this road, and of course the light changed in the middle of it, and this Italian guy on a scooter came right up to us. And he yelled something at us in Italian. We started bugging our professor. We're like, oh, what did he say? He was smiling. I know it was really good. And professor, no, it's not my fault you don't know Italian. And we said, no, I know it's really good. What did he say? And he goes, well, he said, why can't all you beautiful American women learn how to cross the street? And the thing is, if he wanted to get by us, he should have just said permesso.